Hello everyone, hope you're all doing very well. Very strange video today, strange things that have happened, but as ever I would like to go into it and kind of look into it and take it apart, study it and just see if we can learn anything from it. That's what we do at Grim Reapers basically. And forgive me, I don't actually know the time, I think it was last Saturday, so that would be the 22nd, sorry. Today is the 25th. I put a video up late at night, 2200 hours my time, and when I woke up on Sunday the 23rd I had lots of messages saying take the video down, take the video down, and I was like, what? Why? What's gone wrong? And the video had gone up and it was this one here, stand by, F-14D Super Tomcat Test Pilot, and it was a part of the interview series that I did. So a guy came forward, nickname of Bull, on which is interesting, the name, on our Discord, like people do, and said, hi, I'm a F-14D test pilot, do you want to interview me? And I said, obviously yes, I would, give my left leg to interview an F-14D test pilot. And so we set the interview up. We spent a lot of time getting all the questions together, getting everything together, did the interview, filmed it, put it out to you guys, and you guys immediately said, you guys the viewers said, hey, this guy isn't real, this is wrong, that's wrong, he sounds too young, didn't get that right. Lots of you said that, and so I immediately took the video down for investigation. So we're just going through the timeline of things of what happened. Then on that Sunday I sent to Bull here, Heidi, so this is Sunday 11:38 a.m. Hi, the internet believe you are not a real F-14 test pilot. I've temporarily removed the vid. Can you send me some official paperwork over, please, so I can relist the vid? Proof of, you'd obviously have lots of paperwork if you're an official test pilot or any kind of pilot. And it's just disappeared and hasn't been back on Discord since. So I'd say something's probably up. Now, I don't want to absolutely say at this point that the guy is not honest, because I always give people the benefit of the doubt. And it's only been 3 days, and he could have gone on holiday. He could have been a crap interviewee. Some people are knowledgeable, but they just shit on interviews, right? So I don't want to accuse anyone too much, but it's looking like you guys are probably right then. It's looking like the guy was probably not an F-14 test pilot, and he just, well, that's kind of what we're going to look at today, kind of the psychology behind it, because it's something I really don't understand. So the next thing I'd like to look at is just some examples. Lots of you have sent examples of why the guy, Bull, was picked up for possibly being fake. This is probably the best one. It comes from Kiba Tawufe 4 hours ago. Hey Cap, sorry if you're tired of hearing it, but I just wanted to clear up some of the misinformation from the 8,500 hour F-14D video. And that's one thing that you guys brought up as a red flag, that he had 8,500 hours on the F-14D. I mean, that means nothing to me. I don't know how many hours there is. I wouldn't have a clue. I'm not a pilot, as you know. I know nothing about piloting in real life. But you guys said that as a definite red flag there. While a lot of this kid's comments were factual or sounded as such, it was starting to smell like a livestock section at the rodeo. So, first of all, he was talking about digital control, flight control system avionics were added at all F-14 variants in the late 1990s. It gave much improved operation of the hydromechanical controls as well as safety limitations, but it was never true fly-by-wire. Interesting. The F-15C went through a similar upgrade much earlier, and we've got a link there, and we've got a link there. The engine installations on the F-14B and D are identical. They both use the generated F-110 G400, exactly the same engine. Now that's interesting. I was getting some red flags, as you might imagine, during the video as well. However, if you've got someone who you believe is an F-14D test pilot, then obviously, it's rude. It's not becoming of me to question that person's knowledge. So, but he said he had different engines to the B, more powerful engines, and I was pretty sure that was wrong. But again, I'm not going to say someone's wrong who's possibly a real pilot. They're both the same engine. Both use mil power for launch because the thrust was equivalent to zone 3 on the TF-30s and to keep from over speeding the catapult. Okay. The F-14D is 4 tons heavier than the F-14B, is what the supposed test pilot said. The F-14A empty weight is 40,000 pounds, the B is 41,000 pounds, the empty weight of the D is 43,000 pounds. Last time I checked, pilots were required to be good at maths. So yeah, and I'd agree, a pilot should be good at maths. obviously, for obvious reasons. Yeah, so I'd agree with that. In my maths, is just under 4,000 pounds, which is about 1.8 metric tons, something like that, heavier. And because it's the same engines, in that case, the power to weight ratio would be worse. And the supposed pilot said the power to weight ratio was the same, or in fact better. Nothing of the ST-21 is classified. Sorry, I don't know what that is. There's just not much to tell, but it never got further than the drawing board, thanks to Dick Cheney, who is a dick. Okay. No Tomcat version apart from an earlier test. Sorry, let's try that again. No Tomcat version apart from early test fires of the AIM-120 and check for fits for it has ever carried or used the AMRAAM. Tomcats never got the necessary software upgrade. The supposed test pilot said that they used AMRAAMs all the time, and that's all they used. The intake ramps on the remaining Tomcats were welded in place to reduce maintenance. Wow, I didn't know that. How interesting is that? Because I know these supersonic planes have trouble with this. Hence, you get the F-18 with no ramps, because it's such a pain in the arse. Well before 2005, this reduced the maximum velocity to about 1.88, which sounds perfectly reasonable. Dale Snodgrass, the king of Tomcat flying, flew over 5,000 hours throughout his entire career. 5,000 hours in his entire career, whereas 8,700 from our supposed guy. I hope this clears some things up. And there's a whole load. You guys have sent me other ones, but we'd be here all day if we were debunking that. As well as that, I've had quote-unquote a real test pilot who I'm going to be interviewing after the next interview, who sent here his credentials through. So obviously, he's obviously the real deal, who debunked the Tomcat pilot as well. However, like me, he's hesitant to say that he's a liar, because you've got to be really sure. If you're going to call someone a liar, you've got to be really sure before you say it. I like to give them the benefit of the doubt. So that's that information. That's a lot of debunking that you guys have done there. Next thing we'll talk about is regards not allowing it to happen again. So usually I just trust everyone. And that's why I've had the power. I run GR, but I've had the power of actually making the decisions taken away from me. The guys, I'm not allowed to hire people. I'm not allowed to fire people. That's all done by my guys now. And the reason is I trust people too much, and it always gets me in trouble in everything I do. As you can see, we've had group breakups and stuff like that because of my trust in people. So we've now handed that over to other guys, Kingston, Obi and whatnot, and things are running much smoother now because they are a lot less trustful. So to get over this again, what we'll do is if anyone comes forward as a pilot, although I consider it very rude, I guess we're going to have to ask for credentials. A picture of, I don't know what credentials, but you guys have to help me with that. Tell me what credentials you think a military pilot who flew 20 years ago, because that's most likely the kind of guy we're going to get, would have. So you guys let me know realistically and practically what they can do. I don't want them to send 500 pages over. Just a sheet of something that says their name and blah, blah, blah would be good. So that's how we can stop it happening again. Now for the second half of the video, I brought the boys in for this, and we're going to talk a little bit about the psychology behind this, making the assumption that if the guy was a fake, why would someone do this? If we look at, when I try to think about this, I can't understand, I hope I don't lie, I don't like to lie. I understand white lies, like if Alison, I've got to be careful what I'm saying here, if Alison says, does my hair look nice today? And I think it doesn't, if I think it looks fuzzy and weird or something, I'll say, yes, Alison, yes, it looks very nice, and that makes her feel happy. And it's a lie, but it's a white lie, so I understand that because everyone benefits from it and it's cool. But let's think of another example. Let's say I had a life, which I don't, and I went out and met someone and said, if I said, oh, by the way, I'm rich and I drive a Ferrari round, that guy would think that I'm rich and I drive a Ferrari round. But what would I gain from telling him that, though? That won't make me rich, which I'm obviously not. It won't give me a Ferrari. So all it's done is just really confuse things and set myself up for, tripping myself up later on. I just can't understand why anyone would lie about anything. It doesn't make any sense to me. And so why would a guy come on and pretend to be a pilot here, knowing that he's going to get lots of awkward questions asked and stuff like that? What has that person got to gain? I can't think of anyone in somehow enhancing their life because he made people believe that he was a real pilot. What is that? So I'm going to pass it over to some of my guys now. Start popping in your thoughts and see what you guys think.
So I haven't actually seen the video, so I can't actually speak. They were saying that he sounded young.
Yes, he sounded. That said, you sound young, and you're 30, so I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I can't. Yes, he did sound very young. I'll give it that. He sounded quite like you in terms of age, put it that way. And therefore, but
Right.
you are not old enough to be a test pilot of 8,700 hours, are you?
Absolutely not. So
So that
the
was a red
time
flag.
that so the time the F-14 was active and the time that it got retired, you're talking about if he had to be a test pilot, he would have been in his like 50s.
I guess, yeah, that's probably something I should have red flagged there. Again, I'd just like to give everyone the benefit of the doubt. I don't want to say, oh, you don't sound old enough. Are you old enough? It's a bit rude. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
again,
it makes
going
sense, but
okay, I'm going back to my question though, which is what I can't understand and what probably a lot of the viewers can't understand is what's in it for him? Why would someone lie about being a pilot? What's the psychology behind it?
it's internet fame. People get off on that. They like internet fame. So you have a channel like this, the Grim Reapers, that we're up on how many subscribers now?
God knows, 70,000.
And it gets a lot of visibility. And someone like that, if they think they sound legit enough to make it on there and make it seem legit, then people are going to be messaging them. They're going to become popular for all 15 minutes, and it might be trying to get some benefit in that way as far as popularity.
But it's fake popularity though, isn't it? It's not really him though, is it? It's not the real person they're liking. It just doesn't.
I think when they believe their own lies strongly enough, what they're after is that instant envy. Everyone's going to be envious of them. Oh my God, 8,500 hours in a Tomcat. Doing all these cool things, shooting off AMRAAMs and all sorts of stuff. They're going to have your envy, and they get addicted.
Slight chance it could be someone trolling, perhaps. I'm not too sure. Again, I haven't seen the video, so I can't comment too finely.
I think in this day and age, people have a need to validate themselves, and you look at Facebook's all driven by likes, and people need to feel to be part of something. I mean, I look on my experience. I've been one of my best friends is a sergeant in the military, and being out on the lash with him and seeing people pretending to be in the military, and he can see straight through them in a second, and you're left with this. Why is he doing that? And it's just they feel like they need to be a part of something to be accepted, and I don't know if this guy. Possibly, did he put in a application form for the recent recruitment? Maybe he's trying to pump himself up. There'll be something under there that he feels that he needs to do something for you guys to accept him. But he's probably not a bad person. He's not a malicious guy. He just, if he is an old fella, you meet the guys who are part of the biker gangs now with the cuts and so forth, and they pretend to be part of this, and it's just this, trying to be part of something because, they might not have a lot of friends, they might not have a big, sort of social networking sort of thing, so that, it's a feel, need to feel to be part of something.
Yeah, well, we've encountered this guy on the multiplayer servers, the GR multiplayer servers, and he's been spinning the same story for quite a few weeks. Obviously, someone suggested that they approach you and get an interview because you'd been doing that interview series. So it's not just something that he's planned specifically for this interview, but rather that something that he's been living for however long.
So is this a type of, what would we describe? I've just done a video about mental illness, depression and anxiety, and the video will come out in about a week's time because it's going further down the line. But would we describe this as a type of mental illness, or is it not on that spectrum? Is it something much lower, would you think it is?
I don't think it's as high as a mental illness. I think it's more, a social need for friendship and acceptance.
It's weird though, because I guess I see what you mean, because as soon as the guy said that he was an F-14 pilot, obviously we all flocked to him, didn't we? We were like, yeah, you're so cool, which is how it was, and I was like, oh, let's have an interview, you're really cool. So I guess I see what you mean from that. So he gets that kind of dopamine hit or whatever it is, from the I don't know the words, I can't think of the words, from being wanted and needed, which he was. Whereas before he was just another guy on. I would give all 7,000 Discorders my attention if I could, but obviously I can't. I just can't. All I can do is filter out the ones that need speaking to. Obviously, I've only got 12 hours a day or something. So I guess that does kind of make sense. Strange. I did used to have a friend, really good friend, who was described as a chronic liar. He's the only person I've ever known who was a liar, and it was it was almost funny though, because you know, I knew that he was lying. He must have known that he was lying, I guess. Everyone else knew that he was lying, but
So a compulsive liar.
compulsive lie. But after, and these weren't big lies; these were small lies. He's not, you know, like I said, these are nothing life changing, but just facts and figures. My car's this powerful, and you know, things like that, and just always go through it. And I found it very odd, but it was harmless. It never, you know, it never got us, it never got in trouble as such. And so we just kind of took it as a personality trait, a bit of an extreme personality trait. And I didn't bother. I didn't, you know, I was fine with it, to be honest. But strange thing. All right. Any final things from the Reapers on that?
I would add, you know, if you look back at the 80s when the internet wasn't as you know, wasn't a thing, and you've got the year of the water mitty, where these older generation of guys who feel ashamed that they weren't a part of, you know, what their friends were doing out in, you know, the Second World War, for example, and then you get these guys at the, you know, the memorial services where they feel they need to do something, and it's, you know, again, it's not a nasty thing, and you know, they've got, you know, medals they've collected or something along those lines, and they feel they need to be, you know, because they might have an inbred shame of, you know, not being able to do anything like that, and you know, again, it's more of a social side of things. I wouldn't call it a mental problem. I just think it's, you know, the guy might be generally quite a sad person, just wants some sort of acceptance.
Roger, yeah, and I'm not annoyed about it. I mean, it's annoying we wasted so much time on it, you know, because we have very limited time. It's annoying that we wasted time, but I'm not really annoyed about it per se. I almost kind of feel sorry for the guy a bit. Do you know what I mean? It's like, okay, well, I'm going to put it back to you, the viewers, now. I get a lot of my insights, and we have some genuinely really smart viewers, considered viewers, I think is the word. And you let me know, have a sort of sit and think about it, kind of detox, like get rid of the anger, and come back to me with your thoughts. And because I always read my messages, a note on that, but in case I forget to, it's very strange. I get all my messages. I'll show you how I get my messages. Right, I go in here. I miss 20% of your messages, and there's nothing I can do about it. And some of them will be deleted, and there's nothing I can do about it. So I go to Classic Creator Studio.
Doing my RC job.
Yeah, you are. I go to Classic Creator Studio because I can't use the new one. I won't accept it. I refuse to change. Okay, I go to Community here, and I go held to review and likely spam. I go in there, and basically what you do is you just tick anything, as long as it's not, you know, needs banning. So that guy just linked a video, whatever. Yep, we'll let that. And that guy linked a video or whatever. Yeah, we'll let that. So the only ones you cross off if they're about being racist or so, you know, something really nasty, you've got to get rid of them. Okay, and then I've got your comments here, and these are comments on all of the videos you've made since I last checked it, which is about half an hour ago. These comments, and I go through, I tick them, read them, and respond where necessary. But that doesn't give me all. It should give me all, as far as I'm aware, but it doesn't. It misses about 20% off, we've found. And the reason we found that is because RC will say, oh, did you respond to this or that? And I say, no, I haven't seen that. And we'll go into a recent video, and see that, yeah, there's a whole bunch that haven't come through to here. Hence, and there's no solution. I can't go through all my 2,000-3,000 videos and check them every day. It's not possible. So I missed 20% of your comments. So if you're asking a question and I don't respond, ask it again. I don't respond, ask it again, because some of them get filtered out. Some of those 20% go into here and don't appear again. So I never get to tick them. So some of your comments will never be allowed, and nothing I can do about that. I just want to let you aware of that. So don't feel free to repost if you don't get an answer. Okay. Please comment on what we've been talking about today. Let me know your thoughts, and we'll see you later.